Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of the Cycles of Interviews, where I'm gonna have a chat with all the European players who qualified for Worlds, the top 25. And for this episode, we have Pablondinas. So,
Hi,
bienvenido. Welcome to the show.
nice to meet you.
So, first question's always easy. You can introduce yourself, tell us a bit more of how you get close to the game, what you do for a living.
Okay, I'm Pablo. I'm from Spain. I'm 27 years old. I am a mathematic, and
Nice.
also I studied a master in big data, and that's what I do for a living. No? I'm working on a big company of consultory, uh, doing some data engineering. And yes, that's what I do. And I have played Pokemon from 2016. And yes, we started to play like battles in our homes, and now we are here. No, it's a hobby, and now we are playing tournaments, and we are going to Anaheim, or last year we go to Hawaii.
Yeah. And did you play any other Pokemon games in the past?
When I was a child, yes, but recently not at all. No? I haven't played a lot of Pokemon games. Not really.
Okay. So
Since
Pokemon Go
12 years old.
is your only video game, Pokemon Go, right now?
Yes, totally. It's the only game I have time to play. Yes, totally.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Everyone's day is made of 24 hours, so yeah, we need to decide how many times to dedicate to games. But yeah, speaking of games, let's have a look at your season for this year. So I'm seeing that you you were pretty consistent with your results. Of course, your best results are from Stuttgart, so ninth place, and Sevilla, seventh place. Um, is there any particular moment that you really enjoyed this season? What's your best memory for this year?
Well, I think Sevilla is the moment more special for us because it's our regional in Spain, and I have done the best uh, performance in this year for me. But it was a very neutral season. It's very average for me, and there is no anything special. I think in this year.
Okay. I saw, however, that you brought Morpeko twice, both in London and in Sevilla. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, what did you see in Morpeko that made you think about bringing it again in Sevilla after London? And it was these two regionals were pretty distant each
Yeah.
other, like through 2 or 3 months apart, and the meta had changed. But still, you decided to bring Morpeko again. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Maybe when I play Morpeko in UIC, it was like more to get some spicy in my team. Uh, I think in this meta, there are many teams that are weak to Morpeko, like 5 Pokemon weak or 4 Pokemon weak, and it's a very good bench pressure. And you can attract the Pokemon or the hard counter of Morpeko to the battle, and you can play around this. I think this was my idea to bring more Pokemon in UIC. It was good for the things that he done in that, but not for winning to the good players. I have lost against Steptalites and Dumbach, that are all they are from USA, and was sent enough. No?
Well, yeah, and
This more.
they
And,
are two very good players. So
and from
yeah, it's also
Sevilla,
okay.
it's other team totally. You know? It's
Mm.
the Sevilla team is like full random. It's full spicy. When I see when I saw the top 8 at final, my team was like for Pokemons that are not in the other teams. No, it's like Corviknight are not in any other team. Like Dugong, who plays Dugong in a Lapras
Yeah.
meta? Totally absurd. Morpeko and Sableye Shadow that in that moment anyone's plays with Shadow. This team no is corresponds very spicy team, no? And it
Mhm.
was to run that. Morpeko indeed in this meta was very tough to get into it because there is a lot of Claydolls, but it can attract the Claydol and maybe play neutral against that. This was my idea.
Yeah, and maybe just if you are on your dark type cycle, you can just one shot Claydol sometimes, or maybe
Yeah,
if you say swap or Peko and you throw one Psychic Fangs, and then if they try and farm you down, maybe you're gonna reach the Aura Wheel if they
yeah,
are being greedy. Yeah, it depends, but yeah, or maybe you can just use Drapion to bait the Claydol out so that your Morpeko can be free. Yeah.
yeah. There was an option of that, but Rapen is not that very good ABB against Claydol. That strategy is very. It wasn't a good idea at all because Drapion is not very good against Claydol. Claydol can has very good matchup against that. And I think Morpeko in that situation against Claydol, uh, I have already won a game against a Claydol with Morpeko. And in the I have to something like a double bait with Psycho Fangs, and the third Psycho Fang kill Claydol or something like that. But it was not a very good idea at all.
Okay. And so, despite your spicy team, actually, you performed pretty well. And yeah, I suppose who was your MVP for Sevilla? Your best Pokemon in your team?
Totally Corviknight. Corviknight was totally the best Pokemon. Why? I have already, I don't know in how much play, I have played like 18 games. And I don't know how much I have played
Yeah, 16
uh,
games.
Corviknight, but maybe 16, maybe in 80% of the games I have played Corviknight, I think, more or less. Because Corviknight was a very neutral Pokemon in that meta,
Yeah,
and you can. When I played in GBL, for example, Corviknight, it was very bad. It's very and useful, very useless. No, useless totally. But in team of 6, when you can be neutral, and it's a very Pokemon to simplify to get as to do some simplification of a battle when you want to preserve shields to other Pokemons,
yeah,
you can just throw Corviknight to die to get some seals or get a little advantages.
yeah,
With that, you can play around them.
yeah. And your team had three very bulky Pokemon and three Pokemon that want both shields. So
Yeah,
ideally, maybe just associating Corviknight and Claydol all the time, plus a Dark type. I suppose that was probably
yeah,
the main line, and yeah, maybe just Drapion, Claydol, Corviknight. You could just use them in any position you wanted, and still they are still very flexible Pokemon because Claydol has a very nice coverage. And
yeah.
yes, unfortunately now is useless in this Araquanid meta. yeah, you can't really use Clydon anymore, can you? But
Yeah.
okay, so the moment and the regional you love the most was Sevilla, as you said. But yeah, it also makes sense. Is it your home country, and it's always great to stay with friends and to get along with the community. Who was this season the player against whom you had the hardest battles?
The hardest battles against who? I think the hardest battle was against PvP David in Stuttgart in winners finals of my group. PvP David in Stuttgart finally won the regional with Typlosion Shadow and Tox Apex.
Yeah, Toxapex, Annihilate.
And I highlight, yes, it was a very good team, very good team building, and I wasn't expecting that. And I think I have a very RPS game against him. I couldn't do anything. I was like being crushed.
Yeah, well, I look at your team in Stuttgart, and yeah, you don't know how to stop a Annihilate that shields twice. A two-shield
Yeah.
Annihilate is so hard. It's so hard for your team. Okay, so those were your hardest battles, but instead, what about the most spectacular one?
The most spectacular one.
Yeah.
Let me think. Mm,
Or maybe the ones that you had played A-level game. So you were in your A game.
maybe in U-Week I had played against my friend that it's his whole and I think I have played very well this game because I have already played against him in many locals, and normally he can beat me in a normal situation. Maybe I have already practiced against him with that team, and in that moment that he was nervous, he was like, you are playing against me, and that it would be difficult." And I just understand how he normally thinks, and I understand what he will not do. That he has a mandibus, but I know he will be afraid of my Morpeko, and he will not play in mandibus. And maybe I have played something like 3 AAA week to mandibus or something like that because I have not already. And these mastermind games sometimes are useful, you know.
Yeah, I mean, above a certain level, as I usually say, like when everyone is above a certain skill level, you cannot rely on your gameplay, at least not as much as you would do against below average players, because now a lot of players have just improved a lot. So
Yeah,
if they have an advantage, a good lead, a good say swap, they know how to keep the advantage. They know how to win the game. They know how to not to make mistakes. At least it's very rare that players, on average, make mistakes. So yeah, the best way
yeah,
you can try and beat them is just being more able than them to just to call the lines.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So,
And so looking to Anaheim, is there a player you would love to face again? Or maybe a player that
well,
you would
um,
prefer not to?
hombre, I prefer to play against the players that I can't play normally in Europe. No, I would like to play against the best. No, when you go to the worlds, you maybe some people are expecting to win, and maybe if you can go with the easy way, you are afraid of playing against the best players. But when I want to. If I want to go to Worlds, it's because I want to play against the best players, and I want to face the people that are good now, like Itzekisen, Ilam, Marto, Patoman, Paula, I don't know, Colin. Some players that I don't normally play against him because maybe are Spanish, but are not from Madrid. I can play against him normally. And yes, I would love to play against that people.
Someone that you actually would not like to face at all, or at least the latest as possible, if you can. But
Maybe well, my friends, I don't want to play against him. So the Spanish friends that are from Madrid, I have played a lot of locals with them. For example, the year before, I have played against Andres in my first round of Hawaii. No? I have played every local with her in Madrid, and first round in Hawaii, I have played my local. No sense, no in awards. Is I want to play against other people. No? I don't want to play Sanhu, Adri, Strange Stop, Andres, or Arregi or Deep Dax. I don't want to.
Yeah, well, and especially I suppose it's always a bit sad when you know that either you or your friend is going to be in the losers bracket, because just this kind of like situations where you just have to eliminate your friend or get
Yeah,
eliminated by your friend is
yeah.
it's
It's
always sad.
very,
Yeah.
yeah, totally.
Do you feel your playstyle this year has improved compared to last year? What maybe mistakes you learn to fix, or any maybe just an aspect that you now adjust straight better, and you just improved a particular aspect of your gameplay?
Um, in compare with the season before, I have dedicated less time. No? I have a very average season. Thanks, thanks to the seeding. Uh, I haven't practiced a lot. I haven't played a lot to this game, but I have still going to the tournament because I still have fun in here. And I think if I improve something is in the weights, but not at all in skill. It's very similar, and I haven't uh, analyzed many things, and that's why I have uh, uh, no better results. No?
Okay.
Uh, this year for me it was more busy. I have more work to do, and for me this is more just a hobby, and I didn't prepare it too much the tournaments. Maybe for this work, I would like to practice more just to have an opportunity to win. But I don't know because the other things in my life are just eating me my time. You know?
Yeah. I mean, and I guess it's totally normal. So just everyone should just keep in mind that before Pokemon players, we are human beings, and human beings have to do things in the
Yeah,
life. So yeah, just being able to be at Worlds, having many other things to do in your life, it's already a fantastic achievement. And
yeah, totally.
yeah, so definitely you should be proud of what you have achieved, despite not being able to practice as much as you had done last year. yes, last year your results were definitely better. I agree, but also if you have fewer things to do and you could dedicate more time to the game, I think it's totally normal. And yeah, as long as you
Yeah,
are still in at Worlds, and again, you are within the top 25 of your continent. So again, that's a more than satisfactory result. So yeah, definitely, it's
yeah.
something to be surely proud of. So the next question that I want to ask you is, so before preparing for a regional, or while you are preparing for a regional,
Hmm.
um, so in your time, uh, what's the percentage of the time that you dedicate to team building, and what's the percentage that you dedicate to do some practice? Maybe not this year because you had little time to practice, but in general. So, what would you like to do with your time?
If you want to win, you have to dedicate many time, like many hours. I don't know what do you have to do exactly to win, no? But I think for me, it's when I get better in this game or in this tournament, there is a few things that you have to do. It's just try it. Going to the tournament it's a very important thing that you have to do. And for me, it's getting obsessed with the game, with the battles, with the PvPs. You when you are all the day thinking about the game, about the matches, about the matchups, about seal. If I not seal this, if I seal this, you are with the resets, everything. You are obsessing with this game, or thinking about the game or the PvP. Is the way you can improve for me.
Yeah, but it's also very. I mean, uh, it comes with some disadvantage. Just yeah, so much effort
So much effort.
putting in game prep and in the game in general just comes with some other
Yes.
collateral effects. And yes, so each of us should just strike a good balance between time that you can dedicate to the game
Yeah.
and yeah. But with your time that you can dedicate to the game,
Hmm.
uh, as much as little can be, but do you believe so practicing is more important than building the team and reasoning about the like
Depending,
simulations and
depending,
stuff?
depending depending of many things. So, for example, for me, team building is difficult. I don't think my teams are very good because team building is very difficult to do it properly. For team building, you have to take in place the meta, the Pokemon meta, and what people will bring to the tournament.
Yeah.
And you have to be very connected with the people, and know what the people will bring and what the meta are exactly. And it's very difficult. For example, there is a player, Bunny. You know Bunny? That is Spanish.
Yes.
Is a for example, he's very good at team building. He's an expert in this, and I have to learn about many things about these things because I can normally know what the people will do. But he, for example, he is really good with this.
Yeah.
But for example, if you have a team that it's very good and you can practice, it's important to practice a lot. It's not only practice. It's I think it's for me it's more important to study. No, for me the more important thing is studying the matchup, every matchup. When I took it seriously this game, I just write it down. For example, when I when I just when I want to go to a regional that, for example, there is in the week before there is a other regional in USA. I just look the meta, and for example, the winning team. Normally, there is people here. I don't know why. Just copy the team of the winning. That just
Uh,
win it the last
it always
tournament.
happens. It always happens.
Yeah. A very good practice is just write it down the matchup against that team with your team. Just study PvPoke. That you can study the seals, two seals, and prepare a strategy. Prepare a team. What team I would bring, and think what he will think. That's that's the small things can get you to the best performance in a tournament.
Yeah. So lots of theoretical preparation, but also it needs to be followed by some practical applications where you just see with your eyes how the matchups play out in real life, and also maybe just if you see your opponents, what usually they lead with in game one against your team, you can really just start making some statistics and see, okay, so they are very likely to do this in game one
Yeah,
because they have maybe a particular bench pressure Pokemon. And so, yeah, once you start noticing some patterns during practice, yeah, in the
yeah,
regional,
totally.
you will just playing some matchups that you already know what's gonna happen most of the time. And you're a mathematician, so actually, yeah, you should be very interested to just to study this kind of patterns and to use numbers in the game.
Yeah, the pattern of the tournament it's normally comes true, like you said. For example, when you are playing a team and other players with the same team or similar, they or normally do the things that leads in the same lead or makes composts that are similar. But for example, when something that I don't like is when I have to play against a person that I know the team and he knows my team. In that moment, if you practice, it's very dangerous because it's it's easy to generate a bias of what he will do, or and you can get some uh, predictions that are not correct in the real. And when you play in the real life, normally he doesn't do the same things that the other
Yeah.
person where you have played or practiced have done the same.
Okay. Yeah. So usually, when you advance to day two and you look at the like your pairings for your day two, and you see that you have to play against a certain opponent. So I guess you never scream with your friends because you don't want to get any doubts or anything. So you're just maybe okay. So maybe you're just planning something for yourself, but and you don't want to practice.
I don't usually practice because I'm just lazy. But if I would like to do something, if you don't, if you would, if you know that there is a bias of doing this, normally when I practice, I do a thing that's it's not normal, but it's like playing the same compo all the time. And the other there is normally when you practice with a person, you do a best of three or best of five. That is it's normal because the first game it's important to know what the other person thinks, and second game. But when I want to practice, I want to know exactly what will happen if I lead this with that back in many situations. No? And
Yeah.
I think this is enrich the the knowledge of the matchup with that team. But it's not like for to prevent or what the opponent will do in compo. No, it's more like for your game or for your strategy, what we will do in what situation.
Yeah, that's an interesting fact because, yeah, it is true that when you scrim, when you practice with a friend, it's not guaranteed at all that your friend will behave exactly the way your opponent the next morning will. But if you play the same line against your friend, basically what you are doing, you are removing all the noise, and in game 3, your screen partner will probably adapt in a certain way to your line that will be very similar to the way your next opponent will do after seeing the same line in the first 2 games.
When I do this, I just to try to optimize my performance, no, with that team, and also eliminates the thing that what if he what he I don't know the name, the word in English. Sorry.
Say Spanish. We'll try to
adivinar.
to guess.
Guess. It's not about the opponent guess my team. No, it's about the optimize my performance with that team in particular. And when you play many times with the same team, the other person that what are you practicing, he knows what are you playing, and you eliminate also the possibility that your opponent and the next day guess your team comp. That is a possibility, and if you understand that your opponent in practice, if he knows the team you are playing, he can optimize very his play, his plays, and that's a good point for have a perfect game in both situations, if you're playing and your practice player. You know, I don't know if I have explained it well, properly, but more or less.
No, that's that. I mean, it's a more rigorous way to conduct scrimming because just practicing per se is not is not necessarily a good thing, because you can just be fooled into thinking that your opponent will behave the same way your friend behaved. But if you use this screaming occasion just to get a better gameplay with the line you want to bring, and also maybe you're trying to get some information from your friend to see what happens if you force him to take some decisions, and this is a lot of information that you can reuse. And so as long as it's, I mean, yes, you need to try and extract more from practices that the simple battles per se are almost useless, but you need to get some knowledge, right? So there's really very very scientific approach to the game, and this is something that I like a lot. And so next topic. So NAIC and meta. So what were you expecting? And so just tell me your impressions. I won't ask you any particular questions for now, but I want to know what you thought immediately after NAIC.
I haven't seen a lot of NAC. I know that Itzekisen wins with Araquanid, and he plays a lot. Maybe I think maybe Araquanid is a good option, but also the meta is very the Denne, it's very influenced
it's very
by the
centered.
Denne,
It's very centered around the Denne.
Centered. Yes, the DNA is a very good Pokemon if you play it well because it's very neutral, good against everything except the
And the
tierra.
hard
No,
ones.
yes, exactly the ground types or the grass types. And if you play it properly, you can get an advantage in the game that it's not possible to. But also have a gameplay with that boosted defense that you have to be very careful. I
Yeah.
like this. I like this changes for me. For me, it's healthy for for the game in general. In general, in PvP, to have this type of Pokemons in the meta. Not that electric Pokemon that can be RPS by a ground type. Not that thing in concrete. It's more like the thing that you can increase your defense or increase or decrease the attack or increase your attack. These kind of things makes the bull point, break points,
Yeah.
the damage you don't you receive. It's more difficult for us to know what the game's result will come through, and the strategy or the possibilities are more, you know. And that's thing that the game is a way more difficult for us. It's better for us because we have played this game too many years, and
Mhm.
these things are good for the game. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are generally happy when more degrees of freedom are added into the game.
Yes. Totally.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing is, yeah, I mean, Tadenne is probably, I mean, it's probably the most dangerous Pokemon in the whole meta because, yeah, you can't win if you're software.
Yeah.
And it is so strong that if you don't have a hard answer, uh, they can just double shield Dene, and yeah, they're gonna kill all of your three Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
it's very dangerous, and yeah, we're gonna see definitely more and more hard walls to it. So and we already saw Pato using Kanto Marowak, which is a nice call. I
Yeah.
actually, yeah, I actually like it a lot. But it was also a very lucky and favorable moment to bring Marowak and Greninja because we only saw three Araquanid in the whole tournament. But now that they have realized how strong Araquanid is, so your Greninja is going to be extremely risky. Your Marowak, the same. It's going to be very risky.
Yeah.
I know Marowak has Rock Slide, but yeah,
No.
by the time you reach Rock Slide, you're gonna get debuffed and you deal no damage with the fast moves. And yeah, so it's gonna be a very bad matchup. So you need to rethink now your meta read. But I think it was a very nice meta read from Pato in the first place. Now it's going to be something different for sure. Maybe some more fight types to counter the Caesar. What do you think?
Scizor is very good Pokemon. I have already played in GBL. I have really enjoyed this Pokemon. Has a very too much possibilities to be in the top 12 of the world. I think
Yeah,
it should be at the carry of many teams. For
yeah,
me, at least, yes.
yeah. So just giving two shields to it, and
Yeah,
yeah. So maybe some more Talonflames. Just try and stop it.
I don't think so. I don't think it's necessary to bring a ton of it to stop Scizor. Scizor is good, but it's not perfect. No, I think mm, I think the person that will understand the meta and what the people will willing, if have if I can answer this with some Pokemon, some spicy Pokemon can
Yeah,
win this region, these worlds. it's very important to have some spicy things. So some Pokemons that we don't use regularly to surprise your opponent and their strategies. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm gonna bring a couple of little surprises myself, because yes, of course, if you just play top meta, everyone will know how to react to your team, because you're going to have a very, very famous and standard team. So it's also a team everyone will be prepared for.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, having a couple of strange elements that can just co-break some teams is going to be needed. Maybe something just below the 300 rank or 400 rank in PvP, so something very, very weird, unused,
No,
but
400
can be also
400 no, it's very spicy. No?
okay. Maybe 200, 250 can be
200. Let me see. I have this people here. Wilmer Shadow. No.
Whalmer just resists bullet punch, and it has access
Well,
to scroll
Charizard
them.
is in 200. Charizard Shadow is in place 228.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
maybe
Shadow Charizard
Charizard.
with Ember. With Ember,
Maybe
it's not a bad idea. Just
it's not
you
that
kind
bad.
of do talent things more or less, but you are quicker, you are faster, you are more agile. You are not stuck into the long incinerate animation, so you're not easily get sniped. And maybe you're gonna be able to maybe farm the enemy down in certain circumstances. I don't know. It might be an interesting variation. Why not?
Why not?
And yeah,
Yeah.
are you thinking about bringing more Pekka again?
Morpeko in a bug type meta, I don't think it's a good place for Morpeko. I always like to bring something, not in all my tournaments, no, but I think spicy Pokemon is always important. Like every team needs a carry, and these Pokemons like Morpeko are very good. But in this meta, or Dragonite, for example, Dragonite in this meta, I love Dragonite, but in this meta is completely unuseful, useless. Sorry, useless.
Unuseful is a nice word, but yeah, we should just start using it. I think unuseful is nice. Is Dragonite your favorite Pokemon too?
Yeah, I think so. Dragonite is very beautiful. And
Okay.
also we also in many tournaments bring it with a plushie, and it's very Spanish jokes
Yeah.
about Dragonite, and I love it. Dragonite. I played a lot in JBL. It's also it's very good. You know.
Because it's your favorite Pokemon both in PvP and in general.
I think so because I haven't played a lot of Pokemon things in these years. I don't have a really favorite Pokemon, and I just get into my favorite because of PvP. You know.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a great Pokemon for sure. I like Dragonite too. It's impossible to use it peacefully. You just have to be very careful about a lot of different things, and so it is very situational Pokemon. But yeah,
Yeah.
when but when it works well, it works really well,
Yeah.
and
Totally.
it also puts a lot of pressure. So yeah, it's also pretty spicy. It's always been spicy, so it's combines both the surprise effect with some core breaking potential. So yeah, very very good Pokemon. So
Yeah, totally.
tell me a little bit about your local scene. So were you able to play some tournaments, some your locals consistently, or were you forced to travel? For example, Paola told me that she had to travel in other cities to get some points from locals. How is Madrid?
Madrid is one of the best places in Europe to do tournaments. It's because we have many shops here to do that have already tournaments of TCG, and there is some judges here that are very involved in these Pokemon things that help us to do these tournaments. And also me, I was very involved in that local things happen in our community in Telegram, and uh, I have collaborated with the group in many things. I have put a lot of effort to this. I have a very good community here.
Yeah, that's really nice to hear. And is there a player in your community then you are hoping uh, can become a great player, someone who has what it takes to be to be great?
There is a lot of players that maybe is some players that haven't done it perfect in a tournament yet. For example, Alfonso CP97. He's the person that brings me to this PvP thing because he lives in the city next to mine. And I didn't know about Sylph anything. And thanks to know him, he bring me to these PvP things in tournaments, in online tournaments. And he's very good. And also, for example, Strange Shop is very good also. They are playing good and they are motivated to play it. They can perform very well in Worlds, I think.
Yeah, and he's also a very nice guy. Every time we meet in at regionals, he's super nice with me, and we had some nice Spanish conversation. He's a good guy and a good player for sure.
Alfonso is and also Adri. Strange Shop is Adri. They are a type of person that are not common in Pokemon because normally we are people that are very shy, very I don't know, introvert persons. But Alfonso or Adri are people that are very nice in general with all people. Are very talkative in writing or speaking. They are very good friends, you know.
Yeah, and the Spanish community is also very strong. Every time one of you runs deep in a tournament, like the rest of you just rooting for the teammate or for the friend.
Yeah.
So yeah, so loudly and with such a passion that it's impossible to stay to remain indifferent to the show. That's very 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 nice community to stay in for sure. Yeah.
Totally.
So I'm gonna ask you one more question before we say goodbye.
Okay.
And so I know that we already had just very recently a move update, and we're gonna have this meta and this kind of move pool for 2 or 3 months. But if you could modify something about the game tomorrow, adding a move, nerfing a Pokemon, buffing something else, changing a mechanic, what would you do?
It's a very good question. I think if I have already talked about this, but the every attack that has a buff of the buff thing, it's a way, a very way, an extensive way to improve the deeper grades of freedom, no? And I think that would be a good accomplishment, a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also a fan of this stat changing moves, and yeah, let's hope we will see a little bit more. Okay, so that's a wrap, Pablo, for the interview. But before we go, just tell your audience where they can find you, if they want to follow your journey, what are your socials, and if you do any coaching. So this is the time where you can just tell us a lot of things.
Well, my socials are Twitter or X, and it's the same name of my nickname in the game, and that is Pablondinas. It's here in the screen. I don't have more socials, and I don't do collage or something like that. But if you want, maybe you can contact me. But it's not normal for me.
Yeah, you already have too many things to do.
Yes, the money is not bad for me. I need money in general, but I don't really do these things.
Okay, maybe afterwards. Maybe
afterwards.
Maybe after you win Worlds, yeah.
If I win Worlds, maybe I have to do quads.
Okay, so Pablo, thank you so much. It was a great pleasure to chat with you. So looking forward to see you in person in California. So have a great rest of your day, and take care. See you soon.
See you. Thank you. Bye.